Well, good morning, everyone. I will now call to order the October 23rd, 2025 Clackamas County Board of Commissioners business meeting. County Administrator Gary Schmidt is out of the office. County Operating Officer Nancy Bush, do you please be so kind to call the roll for us?
Thank you, Chair. So this morning, for stopping the meeting is County Counsel Scott Seco, and then we also have Clerk to the Board Andrew Jaraki. Commissioner West and Commissioner Schrader will be here soon. So Commissioner Helm.
Here.
Commissioner Savas.
Present.
Chair Roberts.
Here. Okay, thank you. If you'd now please stand, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, well, good morning again, and first is up is public communication. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes per person, and I ask your comments to be respectful and courteous. As a reminder, you can also email submissions for public communication at bcc@clackamas.us, and they will be accepted as a part of the public record. I will now take in-person testimony first. And Clerk, would you please moderate the in-person and also the virtual testimony for us?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have received no blue cards for those who wish to speak in person today. This is a final call if you are attending this meeting in person and wish to comment during general public communication to please fill out a blue card and deposit it in the box by the center doors. Mr. Chair, seeing no members of the public physically present who wish to speak, I'll now move with your assent to those attending virtually. If you're attending this meeting virtually and wish to comment, please raise your hand and I will call on you in the order that I see. Mr. Les Poole, you'll have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Les Poole, longtime citizen activist in the county, I'll call myself that. And I've got a couple of quick subjects that are very, very important that I want to touch on. One is the Multnomah County land use, I'll call it a fiasco, that's occurring with regards to the Bull Run water filtration plant that's located right on the Clackamas County line. I spoke about it recently in a meeting, and Commissioner Savas responded. I want to thank him for that. He suggested that the other commissioners go out and take a look at what's happening out there in that formerly pristine farmland, and hopefully you'll all take him to heart on that. There isn't time in 3 minutes to go over some of the concerns that I and others have, but we definitely need a greater involvement by the county to protect our assets, our roads, our way of life. The county doesn't have authority over the project. It's actually located in Multnomah. So I realize that you folks are limited in what you can do to watch out for us. But as the County Board of Health, there are other concerns about the actual process and what they're intending to do there. So please stay on top of that subject and be aware that I think you already are, that our roads are suffering out there and that there's a lot of safety concerns. It's been a project that has been poorly handled, and it's turned into a unfortunate, divisive legal quagmire. My other subject is just a brief comment about the upcoming referendum on the bill that was passed to bail out ODOT and provide funding for transportation. Many know that was a convoluted process that ended in a special session, and now we've got $2 billion or $3 billion in additional taxes that are really not justified and that are going to be imposed at the worst time for Oregonians. And I encourage everyone that hears my voice to sign the petition that will be coming out soon. A referendum would require thousands of signatures, but with enough signatures, that bill and all those taxes and fee increases will go out for a public vote. And this is a big issue. So I just encourage everyone, let's get it on the ballot. Let's have the public weigh in. The referendum will start after the governor signs the bill. And of course, in her true fashion, she's dragging her feet. So watch for a referendum on House Bill 3991. As always, thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
All right, thank you, Les.
Thank you, Mr. Poole. This is a final call. If you are attending this meeting virtually and wish to come and not yet done so, please raise your hand. Mr. Chair, I see no other members of the public physically or virtually present who wish to speak today.
Okay, thank you. I will now close the public communication portion. And Nancy, what's next on our agenda?
Yes, Chair. Next, we have the consent agenda, and I want to announce that item A3 is being pulled from the consent agenda today. Collecting some more information on that one. So, Clerk, would you please read the consent agenda?
Consent agenda for the Board of County Commissioners. Item 2A, elected officials. 1, approval of previous business meeting minutes for the Board of County Commissioners. 2, approval of a grant application to the Oregon Department of Justice for child abuse multidisciplinary interventions. Grant value is $1,343,499 for 2 years. Funding is to the Oregon Department of Justice. No county general funds are involved. B, disaster management. 1, approval of a purchase order to L3 Harris Westcam UAA for thermal sensor systems for the Sheriff's Office's airplane. Purchase order value is $431,043. Funding is to the Federal Emergency Management Agency. No county general funds are involved. C, technology services. 1, approval of a purchase order to Convergent Technologies for security camera software licensing. Order value is $324,821 for 5 years. Funding is through departmental cost allocation, which does include a small portion of budgeted county general funds. 2, approval of an amendment to an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Sandy for new internet service to state lottery sites and adjoining businesses. Funding is through ClackCo Broadband Exchange monthly cable lease revenue. No county general funds are involved. D, Health, Housing, and Human Services. 1, approval of a revenue intergovernmental agreement with the Canby Fire District for fire district use of county patient care record software. Agreement values $11,952.40 for 2 years. Funding is to the Canby Fire District. No county general funds are involved. 2, approval of an amendment to a revenue intergovernmental agreement with Clackamas Fire District Number 1 for emergency medical services training to fire district personnel. Amendment value is $72,000 for 1 year. Total agreement value is $360,000 for 5 years. No county general funds are involved. 3, approval of a federal subrecipient grant agreement with Cascade AIDS Project for HIV prevention services. Agreement value is $65,000 for 1 year. Funding is to the Oregon Health Authority. No county general funds are involved. E, transportation development. 1, approval of a quitclaim deed to allow repurchase of a tax foreclosed property parcel by Randy S. and Kirsten N. Johnson. Sale value is $811.30. Funding is through purchasers. No county general funds are involved. 2, approval of a quitclaim deed to allow repurchase of a tax foreclosed property parcel by Kindred LLC. Sale value is $53,794.27. Funding is through purchasers. No county general funds are involved. 3, approval of a quitclaim deed to allow repurchase of a tax foreclosed property parcel by Nehalem LLC. Sale value is $66,440.59. Funding is through purchasers. No county general funds are involved. 4, approval of an amendment to a supplemental project agreement with the Oregon Department of Transportation for increased funding for the Courtney Ave Complete Street project. Amendment value is $2,693,997.87 with no time change. Total agreement value is $8,355,418 for 10 years. Funding is through Metro funds and county system development charges. No county general funds are involved. 5, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with Water Environment Services for the Southeast Valley View Terrace project. Agreement value is $250,000 for 2 years. Funding is to the county road funds. No county general funds are involved. Mr. Chair, that concludes the Board of Commissioners' consent agenda.
Thank you, Andrew. Colleagues, would you like to remove any item from the consent agenda? Seeing none. May I have a motion?
I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Helm has moved to approve the consent agenda. Commissioner Savas has seconded that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, would you please call the poll for us?
Commissioner Savas.
Aye.
Commissioner Helm. Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I will now recess as a Board of Commissioners and convene as a Water Environment Services Board of Directors. Nancy? You want to-
So next, we have the Water Environmental Services Consent Agenda. You, Commissioners, you are now sitting as that Board of Directors. So Clerk, would you please read the West Consent Agenda?
Water Environment Services Board of Directors Consent Agenda. Item A, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Department of Transportation and Development for the Southeast Valley View Terrace Project. Agreement values $250,000 for 2 years. Funding is through the county road funds. No county general funds are involved. B, approval of a personal services contract with OTAC for design of stormwater system improvements along Southeast Valley View Terrace. Total contract value is $244,642.13 for 13 months. Funding is through Water Environment Services Surface Water Construction Funds. No county general funds are involved. Mr. Chair, that concludes the Water Environment Services consent agenda.
Thank you, Andrew. Directors, do you wish to remove any item? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
I move we approve the Service District Number 5 consent agenda.
Second.
And Director Helm has moved to approve the West consent agenda. Director Savas has seconded that. Any further discussion?
Chair, I'm a little bit, just a clarification, point of order. The West is not the same as District 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Correct,
Yes,
yes.
this is, you're right, this is, oh, yeah, there we go.
Yes.
So do you want to go back and?
I will recall that, and I move we approve the West consent agenda. Yes, I had.
Oh.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Good catch.
Yes.
And I second approving the West consent agenda.
Thank you.
So I can restate that if I get it correct. Director Helm has moved to approve the West consent agenda, seconded by Commissioner Savas. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, would you please call the poll?
Director Savas.
Aye.
Director Helm.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Andrew. I now adjourn as the Water Environment Services Board of Directors and convene as the Service District Number 5 Board of Directors. And I'll turn to Nancy.
Yes, thank you. So you are now sitting as the District Number 5 Board of Directors, and we have the District Number 5 consent agenda. So Clerk, please read the agenda.
Service District Number 5, Street Lighting Board of Directors Consent Agenda. Item A, approval of a resolution to acknowledge Service District Number 5 fiscal year 2025 audit findings and accept the plan of corrective action to address the findings. No fiscal impact, no county general funds are involved. Mr. Chair, that concludes the Service District Number 5 consent agenda.
Thank you. Turning to my directors, do you want to remove any item from consent agenda? Not seeing anybody wants to do that, so may I have a motion?
I move we approve District 5 consent agenda.
Second?
All right. Director Savas has moved to approve the District Number 5 consent agenda. Director Helm has seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, would you please call the poll?
Director Helm.
Aye.
Director Savas.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
Again, thank you, Andrew. I'll now adjourn as the Service District Number 5 Board of Directors and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. Nancy.
Thank you, Chair. So next, I'd like to share some good news about Clackamas County programs and the work of our great staff. So Commissioners, you're aware our Community Board Road Fund dedicates much-needed funds to road projects around the county. And it's always nice to hear from appreciative emails from our residents about these projects. So one resident recently wrote into our Department of Transportation and Development. I want to let someone know how very much appreciated the pavement rehab project in my neighborhood is. I am in an older southeast Clackamas neighborhood off Sunnyside, and the 124th, 125th, 126th, 128th, Opal, and Mather roads work is completed and is so wonderful to make my way out onto Sunnyside to go anywhere on fresh, smooth, pothole-free streets. My own street had the slurry treatment a year or two ago. Anyway, I am sure You get a lot of complaints because that tends to be what people do, and I thought you deserved a big thank you once in a while. So again, we want to thank our road crews for their stellar work. So that's all I have today. So Chair, we are at Commissioner Communications.
All right. Commissioner Savis, you're up first there.
Yeah, I'll be as brief as I can, but there's a lot of moving things that are going on. So first of all, last Saturday, we had the great opening of the Concord Park and Community Center, and as well as the new Oak Lodge Library. Great turnout. I heard there was the number counted was over 2,000 people that attended. That's pretty believable because it was packed even before we even started. So great day. Everything went extremely well. Able to acknowledge all the groups and people that were involved, staff included, and probably the best example, I think, of a long-term community effort, just by the number of groups alone. I think Commissioner Helm made that comment. I didn't know there were that many groups of people involved in this thing. And there are 3 different aspects of that: the community center, the actual park for the kids and adults, and also the library. So that's part of the reason that there's so many different groups. But a lot of overlap. Some of those people were one and the same. But again, my gratitude for everyone being involved for so many years, and during the tough times of COVID as well, where people were less likely to be involved. Yesterday, the 3 of us attended a little visit of a local business called Airstream. Very impressed with the size of their facility and hearing some of the history of Airstream, which is basically considered the top of the line trailer in the country for years. And they do make a very unique quality product that is, bar none, is in a class of its own. So it was great to really see the facility. And I didn't know that we had a facility that actually did the customization aspects. Not all Airstream dealers in the country do customization. And this facility in Clackamas does that. And they have customers who bring their trailers to this particular facility from around the country. That was pretty fascinating. So, and the license plates on some of those trailers prove that. So, but that was a great visit. I just want to give you an update. Staff have encouraged me to attend Monday morning early. I'll be in, I think, Kaiser. I'll be in Kaiser. No, Salem. I'll be in Salem, that's right. Kaiser's Tuesday. I'll be in Salem speaking to the Oregon Transportation Commission regarding their work plan and some of the capital projects in there. And I'm going to be talking about both. I'll be talking about Tuesday. Tuesday I'll be leaving early. I won't be here for the full work session piece, but I'll be leaving somewhere around 9:30 in the morning, roughly, to be in Kaiser for the Region Acts and Chairs Modal meeting in Kaiser. And Region 1 Act is all of Clackamas, all of Hood River County, all of Multnomah County, and a good portion of Washington County. And I currently chair that. I'm one of the founding members that got that established way back. And what's happened is the reason that I'm having this being, I think, suggested that I attend the Monday meeting is to clarify, what the voice of the Region 1 Act is versus what the voice of public comment sometimes can either skew or dilute that. And I think Commissioner Helm will know what I mean in her role, that sometimes you hear a lot of voices and sometimes they're not necessarily associated with people that maybe might reside in your particular jurisdiction. So what's happening, I think what's happened typically is the Portland area has done, has a lot of advocacy groups. We have, the bike ped group. We have people that don't believe in it. There should be any new highways or freeways. We have people that have, a number of different beliefs about what, and some good ones. I mean, they're all good, but also the Americans for Disability Act advocates and services for seniors and all those things that are valid and need advocacy. However, I think the voices for what people would expect, the payers of the system, the people that use our roads. There's not a lot of people advocating for the basics, right? And so that voice is like this big, and all those other voices are about that big, and somehow there's been a dilution or misunderstanding of what perhaps our groups are. So, and I understand this. I have to live it. And my difficulty is we're trying to represent the Board of County Commissioners on JPAC, which is the Joint Policy Advisory Committee for Metro, which has federal dollars. I got to represent the voice of the county, not mine. And on the Region 1 Act, I'm the chair. So instead of, yes, I was appointed to be by this board to be on the R1 Act, but as a chair, I have to represent everyone. And that's very difficult. So my voice is a little bit different, but I have to take that hat off and I put on my county hat and so forth. So I will be speaking on Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday, both wearing both hats. So just so you know. And then when I'm here on the dais, I can speak, wearing the hat of the Board of County Commissioners and other. So it's a little bit difficult, and again, trying to make sure that everyone's represented. And sometimes you don't have clarity, so you want to call up the chair of another or members of another county, and you hope that you get a return phone call, and you hope that, and we're all busy, so it's not easy sometimes when something comes up. I won't say at the last minute, but in the latter hours, you don't have a time to really communicate that. And it really is, that's not really a meeting. So really, a 30-some-odd member board or 26-member board of the R1 Act, you can't talk to them and convene them all, and that would be a public meeting. So when something like this happens, you struggle really to kind of go, number one, off of memory, what was recorded and what was advocated by the membership, and also be mindful of the advocacy that speaks under public comment that also has a voice. So I just wanted to share, that's where I'll be Monday morning, that's where I'll be missing part of Tuesday, and trying to do that. And I guess what I'll do is I'll stop there and yield back, Chair.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Helm.
Thank you, Chair Roberts. So first of all, it's my eldest son's birthday today, so happy birthday, Alex. Not that he would ever watch this, right? But anyway, it's a big day for me, right? Yesterday, Commissioner Savas and I attended the Lake Oswego Chamber Cruise Way Economic Forum, and it was very specific to AI and the changes, and they were saying some of the things that have been written in the last, 2 months are already obsolete. So everything is changing so drastically. I found it interesting. There were a lot of facts and figures, and it gives you pause in where this could be used in not just our roles, but for some of our departments that could become more efficient because of AI. So there's a lot of opportunity, but a lot of caution that should be used with it. So I found it interesting and informative. I was there also for the Airstream facility. One of the things I don't think I realized is that is an actual retail facility with a indoor showroom. So, we want to help them figure out how to get people off Highway 212 to visit this facility. And it is the most amazing showroom in there, and where they do these custom build-outs, it's just fascinating. I had no idea. You drive by it, you go, a few trailers, and then you go inside, you're going, wow. Because it's a nearly, what did he say, 100,000 square foot building?
60,000.
60,000 square foot
Yeah.
building, yeah. But yeah, they're very cool. I did not step inside one because I don't want, that's not my thing. So I don't want one. But he was saying how some family members will come back and buy ones that had already been sold to someone else or refurbish them for these insane amounts of money, that because of the memories they hold. So it was very cool. But I do want to go back because I had to leave early for another meeting at 5 with Impact. So they talked about the regional housing analysis. That's all kind of an ongoing discussion. The most fascinating part of the evening was Happy Valley gave a presentation on their new downtown plan, complete with renderings and locations, and that this has been a long time in the works. It's to see it come to fruition will still be numerous years away, but it's kind of an exciting presentation because Happy Valley doesn't really have a downtown. It's very disconnected in a lot of ways. So Laura Turway and Kevin Grant, I hope I got your last name right there. Kevin gave the presentation. It was really good. I'm pleased that they're moving forward with that, and they have a great vision, I think. So that's it. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner West.
It looks like I arrived at the perfect time. I'm sorry for, my meeting ran late this morning, so I apologize. It's been a really busy week. Went to the business forum this week regarding workforce development. That had some interesting stuff to it. Really interesting stuff is still developing around kind of the progression of where we're going with timberlands. I think Chair Roberts and I are also going to go hang out with Pacific Seafood, it sounds like, here in the near future to look at some of these different businesses. I let them know that they might be getting a phone call on the transportation task force for some freight, and some people, you know, and from industry. I don't think I have much more to add than I said earlier this week today, but yeah, it's we're going into the holiday season here pretty soon, but we are moving fast and trucking along. So I will say that the businesses, I've spent a lot of time with the businesses on Main Street in Oregon City. I've been going to their businesses. I've been eating at the Verdict and down at the Watershed, and I've been going down to the White Rabbit. I walked in and checked out the furniture store, and they are very, very excited about what's going on down there and our plans down there. I am somewhat concerned that I can't help but notice every time I spend more time down there that there does seem a disproportionate amount of those that are struggling with homelessness and substance use disorder on those streets. I know the caring place is coming in, and we're building out our care continuum, we're building out the recovery-oriented system of care, we're doing what we can, but I'd be interested to get some feedback from the city about how they're feeling about what's going on and what we're developing in the region. Had a very enlightening meeting with Commissioner Wilson out of Oregon City this morning. Incredibly informative about some perspectives I think that we could be more aware of. And but I am optimistic about what we're going to do to keep vitality in that part of the city and that part of the county going. There's a balancing act that has to happen through this for sure. But it's got my wheels turning. I think as sometimes we move forward as one entity and there's these other governmental entities around us, sometimes we don't stop to totally check in and be like, okay, how are y'all doing? You're in this county too, and the county seat is here. You definitely might be getting it's not a larger portion of this population that we're dealing with. What are you hearing from the people in Oregon City, and making sure that the commissioners in Oregon City are also understanding what we're doing, why we're doing it, and feel partnered with us. I wonder if sometimes we go really fast and they go really fast, and sometimes we're like two ships passing in the wind, and we could have done a better job building relationship. So I hope we can maybe find a way to focus on that relationship building with some of we have 16 cities, it's a lot, but maybe be a little more targeted in our relationship building is something that's been on my mind lately. But overall, excited, we're doing really good stuff. Whether to enjoy one of the few sunny days we may have for a while, Clackamas County, but go find some cider, maybe a little glass of wine, and some good times, and enjoy the weekend. So we have a busy day today with the Senate appointment. That's going to be another big meeting. So you can tune in to that also. We'll have a new senator here in Clackamas County by the end of the day. That's all I got, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner West. Just a couple follow-up comments, and really echoing what my colleagues have said about the Concord Park opening. And really, the library and everything is absolutely amazing. And just wanted to give a shout out to county staff and the many other people that helped on that kickoff, and Kia Sully for the amazing work that has happened. So it's absolutely beautiful. Encourage everybody to go check it out. Also, a number of us attended the State of the Workforce. It was really, I felt, very interesting to look at the data again about what's going on in our county, what's going on in our region, and some of that data, which I asked my policy advisor to get copies of that so I could dive into it a little more. And Commissioner West and I did a little tour of property out on Dowdy Road. Absolutely gorgeous piece of property. It's been a while since I've been out to that area, but it's 500 acres and just different possibilities for what could happen there. So that was really a great opportunity. And then the last thing was, again, wanting to thank staff and manager at Airstream, Mike Stottlemyre, who really worked hard to kind of coordinate our meeting yesterday. And I want to remind folks where it's at and help promote Airstream and the great work that they do. It's at 16250 Southeast Evelyn Street in Clackamas. It's kind of an industrial area. You would not imagine that there's that they actually sell Airstream homes there, but they also have those Sprinter type vans. Their showroom, as Diana Helm said, is just absolutely amazing. 60,000 square feet. So those are the things that really that I have to comment on today. And on behalf of the board and county commissioners, I want to thank everybody for joining us. If there's no further business, this meeting will be adjourned. Thank you.